So yes, this is Silly Kelly reporting to you live from the set of Starship Locations. Yes, I'm actually in the stories. There you go. Anyways, I've seen Star Wars, the new one, the Star Wars 8, and I decided to chime in about Star Wars 8. Yes, I know that this is Cal-Cat and all that, and that and that Star Wars Episode 8. Technically, this is Cal-Cat second showing, but yeah, there's been some controversy concerning the movie out on the internet, subverting expectations and that kind of thing. Having seen it a second time, we determined what those are, and that, like the movie Looper that this guy did before, if you see a movie that he does twice, it kind of explains some stuff in it if you were paying attention. Because the first time you're kind of not, so you miss it. But actually, does it really subvert the expectations? Because in the first film, Force Awakens, the main thing was that Rey's parentage. Now Luke comes from nowhere in the original trilogy. Luke comes from the Tatooine, the desert planet, similar to Jakku, desert planet out in the middle of nowhere. And he allegedly is not anybody that will bring the. So he's kind of a nobody, kind of parable character. So then they kind of established that, like in the first one, that Rey is also so like that on her planet. So Rey's Star Wars, So Rey's people were walking by. So yeah, so they say like she's a nobody in The Force Awakens. So they're complaining about that, but that's in The Force Awakens. Go back and watch it. Yeah, they don't know where she's from and who she is. The point of The Force Awakening for her and for Finn, the Stormtrooper, is that, yeah, they're not connected to Luke's family. They're just to have the Force because they're Force sensitive. And that's actually cooler because they're basically the expression of who the new fans, the new generation are watching it. Sort of like when the prequels came out 20 years after the originals, and the new generation that was kids liked it way more than our generation that was older, because we were like, well, this is kind of stupid and cheesy. This is the new one. This is like, 20 years later, and it's like, okay, well, this is 18 years later, and it's like, well, this isn't like our Star Wars. It isn't their Star Wars. It's the next generation Star Wars. So yeah, it's been around for 40 years now, but that one was in '77. We were all very young when it came out. So yeah, but yes. So it subverts expectations, and I don't think it actually breaks too many rules, really, if you think about it. Even Mark Hamill was complaining a little bit, although they're misreading what he said. He's being cagey about it. He was sort of playing a bitter old man Luke. It wasn't really the Luke that everybody knew. But was he? I mean, really? You think about how Return of the Jedi ended with him battling the Vader and all that, and you think that's a natural progression if he had raised students and they all betrayed him. That's what that would be like. So that's really not, Kylo Ren thing is really not beyond his character. Not really. Ben, you figure like that Han Solo was probably a terrible dad. But Leia was probably too busy being a politician, so they were like, latchkey kid Ben Kenobi. He could still be related to the girl. If they want to take the story a bit further and say, okay, how about she's actually a child of one of the other students that fled the temple, and that she's actually related to someone, Gray's character. So that's possible. Also, if Luke can do force projection and stuff, and Snoke can do force projection and stuff, Luke said that he would come back even more powerfully to took him down. There's a duality because Snoke had every intention to be destroyed so that he could come back. That was like a force ghost. So that's what Snoke is probably going to do in the next one. Now what they should probably do there is have Han Solo also come back as a force ghost. It's proving that he actually understood the force and he understood what it was and said it's true, all of it. So yeah, it's not a bad movie. It really is a good movie. It has entertaining. All of the fan hate seems to be centered on. They're not exactly like they were in The Force Awakens, but when you really look back at The Force Awakens, they really didn't have any depth in that movie. They were just there. If you go back to that original one, it's like, yeah, I mean, if you look back at like how they were done, you'd be like, but they really didn't. I mean, yeah, they're just like, oh, Rey is another Luke Skywalker, and she's has powers, and she goes on a mission, sort of like Luke and Han together. Oh, and Ben is the other one that should be more like them, but isn't. It's like it's a duality of the whole thing. They're not siblings, but force-wise, they're siblings. Force-wise, they're foils for each other. They're not going to get together, though. That would be weird. I was not expecting them to get together. They didn't. And the part where Snoke basically like lets them kill him, it's pretty obvious that Snoke did that, like on purpose for whatever reason. I'm thinking that because the guards attacked him afterward, that the original Snoke wasn't actually on the cruiser, and that the puppet master bad guy dude is actually just some other dude. Like they knew who he was, so Kylo knew who he was, and he was using his projection powers and stuff. But if he's still around, he's around as some other alien, and that's how they could redeem even the prequels, because they could finally throw in the Abrams version that in fact Snoke's real master is Jar Jar Binks. That would be awesome, and he's actually Darth Sidious in secret. Yeah. If they did that, that would redeem even the prequels. Because that would mean Jar Jar Binks was secretly behind the whole thing. Mr. Destroy the Jedi. But yes, but no, they're not going to do that. But I like the Cal-Cat notion that the next one will. So we have The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and then we have the Kylo Ren one. And what did he gave it a name? He called it something. That was cool. Let's see, not another Sith title. It's not going to be a Sith title. First Order. That's going to be episode 9. It's going to be called The First Order. Okay, we can see what that is. The First Order. And who gave the First Order? Wasn't Kylo. They kept talking about the Knights of Ren. I'm going like, where are the Knights of Ren? Why aren't they in it? Knights of Ren, it's supposed to be so cool. Actually, they were in it. The Praetorian Guard guys were like the finished up former Knights of Ren, so they were Praetorian Guards. And they killed them in this movie, so yeah, that was them. Not really, but I'm just saying. Because the Knights weren't really doing anything. So you figure they're probably his guards at that point. Knights of Ren. Silly anyway, how could he have knights if he's not a king? It's got to be Snoke's knights, right? Makes sense. And then there's Captain Phasma, who has all of 3 lines in the new one. It's like, even though she went on about how awesome it was and empowering for her character to be in this, and like, oh, it's going to be a step ahead for all womankind and everything, and all is wonderful. And she's all, well, I'm on camera for like 3 minutes or so, and then suddenly I apparently get blasted in the face with a space blaster and fall into a pit. Kind of like what I did in the last movie. Oh well. And then Laura Dern shows up and goes like, well, actually, what I did is I warped speeded into the ship because I saw the Cal-Cat thing and I wanted to do that. Yep. And the warp speed through the ship thing has been around in Star Crackers, one of our earlier fan film things, for like long time, years and years, so they totally could have seen that. Except they did it far more classy with actual special effects. They actually had like a budget. But yes, no, they didn't steal our idea. We thought of it a long time ago. So J.J. Abrams will be doing the 9th one, and Quentin Tarantino will be doing a Star Trek movie. I like the movie. I think it doesn't subvert as much. If you see the Star Wars movie again and look at it for what's going on, the pacing and stuff, it's really not that out of character. Because of where they started in the new trilogy. Could be a different timeline, I suppose. Could be that this is like a timeline where the Sith Order was more powerful than it was supposed to be and set up the balance. And yeah, the text. What Yoda meant by that scene is that they already had copies of the stuff elsewhere, so, blow up this tree, but so. And there was another controversy from the alt-right that was complaining about it. No, there's no political Trump stuff in there at all. Would that be you? Would Trump be Snoke? That doesn't make any sense. Would that be Putin? No. Doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Can't be. And then the other side was complaining about the social justice warriors, which is a made-up term for internet troll people that complain. But no, it wasn't them either. Hold on a second. Wasn't them either, really. So I didn't mind the Star Wars. It was fine. It was very good. It's not an Oscar-worthy movie, but it was better than Force Awakens. I would say it was on a par with Jedi, if not Return of the Jedi. A little better. Oh no, it was sacrilege! No, it totally was. So there's my take on second viewing of the Star Wars movie and what it did. Hope you enjoy it. So yeah, just a little more the subversion that isn't really subversion of Star Wars, and it isn't really because everything kind of works out for them. And although it is messed up that Luke goes to the beyond or whatever, he's technically a Force ghost now, so maybe he was actually I was thinking about that like the time, like I watched the second time, you know what might be going on here is that Luke is already dead. She goes to the island and he's all, I can't train you because he's not there. Now wouldn't that be an interesting twist? Like the island keeps the spirits there. He's actually already a spirit. He's like halfway there already, so there's your idea. She gets there and he's already gone. So, yeah. There you go. That's probably not what happened, but because then it would kind of make sense. It'd be like, oh, it's like spirit, ghost, whatever. Anyway, so I'm wearing the hood to look like evil Sith Lord.